Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be the first one to tell you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I fucking hate AEW Battle of the Belts. All right, y'all. Yes, I'm your host, D's, the MFG, also known as MFGDs. A little dyslexia for you. Man, this episode of AEW Battle of the Belts had me drained. Because AEW sucks at advertising their shows, I went into Collision not really knowing, even though I've seen it on Rampage, I went into Collision not really even knowing that there was going to be yet another AEW Battle of the Belts. I mean, I feel like it was just a few weeks ago where they had one. But I digress. Anyway, once again, this is Fire Mid Trash, so we're going to do every single week. I want to take a little bit of time to ask you to like, subscribe, follow, turn on your notifications to help us out with the algorithm. I also want to take a little bit more time to plug Let's Talk Dynasty with myself and Andrew Mott. Get you ready for your dynasty leagues and some fantasy football and try to put a few trophies in your championship case. All right, so without further ado, we're going to do our thing. We're going to go on to this episode of Fire Mid Trash. Okay, here we go, people. This is what we're all here for, right? All right, so we're going to do what we do best. We're going to kick this off with a little bit of fire. Okay, we're going to start over at Monday Night Raw. And the fire segment I picked for Monday Night Raw this week is going to be none other than the excellence. The excellence. Because once again, we try not to talk about the matches themselves and the technicalities that go into the matches because we've never been in the ring. We've never been professional wrestlers. I haven't. Always admired it. Never been in the ring. But we will talk about how the show's booked because I do, once again, feel like I am somewhat of a, not expert, but someone who knows a little bit about how to structure a show, how to write a little bit. So I like to, toot my own horn right there a little bit. But I want to talk about the structure of the show. That's what we're going to do here on Fire Mid Trash. But obviously, if there's some type of legendary historic match or historic finish, we're going to talk about it here. But for the sake of this discussion, we're going to talk about the fire segment for Monday Night Raw. And I had the excellence of Gunther. Gunther has been a dominant champion. He's been dominant. Yes, we have Roman Reigns. Yes, Roman Reigns has been the champion for 1,000+ days. But Gunther has been there consistently every day winning his matches. People probably think he's getting stale. I actually think him getting stale helps his character because Gunther is quite a serious guy. He thinks the ring is sacred, and that is why Gunther is the man. Gunther, I rarely go into a match lately thinking, oh man, Gunther might lose this one. Bronson Reed definitely, 100%, absolutely did not register as a threat to taking Gunther's Intercontinental title. Not once did I think that was going to be the case. And obviously, that's not what happened because we're here talking about how great Mr. Gunther the Ring General is. So my fire segment here, a fire situation, whatever we're going to call it for Monday Night Raw, is just Gunther. So it's a little time we're just showing a little appreciation for Gunther and his continued run of excellence. Now over to NXT. So NXT was a good show, but what fascinated me the most about this week's episode of NXT was the mystery. Who attacked Trick Williams? It was Carmelo Hayes. Or at least that's what they want us to think. They could swerve us. They absolutely could swerve us. They could have somebody who hasn't even debuted yet be the one who attacked Trick Williams. But the way the story is being built up, it could be Carmelo Hayes. Or we could be doing a double swerve. What's that? We played up. Oh, yeah. Maybe Carmelo is the one who attacked Trick. Then it comes to find out this is actually what WWE should do. Then it comes to find out that Trick starts to blame Carmelo. I know it was you. I know it was you, dog. I thought I was your friend. I thought we was friends. I thought we was boys. Nah, Trick. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And so we get to the point where these two finally get a match booked against each other. And what happens? During the match, we have somebody, a new debuting wrestler or a new debuting faction just come in and just tear both Trick and Mello apart, showing that they really turned on each other for no reason, but also highlighting that they did not trust each other as much as they thought they did. At least that's the direction I would have them go if I was writing the show. Next over at Dynamite, Sting has announced that his final match will take place at Revolution next year, 2024. And I just like the fact that we had Sting come out. We didn't do the whole thing where we wait to the last minute for Sting to come out and say he's going to retire or things of that nature. We actually had Sting come out and say, hey, Revolution next year, I'm done. That gives the fans, that gives the professional wrestling world the opportunity to give Sting his flowers before he heads into the sunset on his illustrious career. Kind of like when D Wade or like other professional athletes announce ahead of the season that they're retiring. They go from place to place. They get a jersey from the other best players in the league. And, you know, they get their flowers before they hang them up. So Sting's going to get to do that. And I think we should appreciate the remaining time that Sting has here. I hate that Sting didn't get the chance to showcase why he is the icon in a WWE ring. I feel like that would have put the cherry on top of his great career. His career is great with or without WWE. That's almost a part of why Sting is who he is. He did it all without the WWE machine, baby. He did it on his own. He's a self-made man. But yeah, man, I hope, which I don't see why not, WWE owns the rights to WCW. I definitely want to see Sting get inducted into the Hall of Fame the very minute that he retires. So that means that probably not WrestleMania weekend of 24. Let's try to get Sting in there WrestleMania weekend 25 at the very least. You know? So yeah, shout out to Sting. Over at SmackDown, I had to pick this for the fire moment for SmackDown. The return of Bianca Belair. And let's hope that while she returns, that we also get some good material for her, because she was very stale heading into her hiatus. She's back. Let's hope they got something for her. I mean, let's not take the low-hanging fruit and just have her feuding with Jade Cargill. I don't think that helps either woman, to be honest. I think what we need to do, we need to get a little creative about how we're going to handle Bianca. Maybe even go ahead and pull the trigger on her joining the faction with Lashley, Montez Ford, her man, and Angelo Dawkins. And just go ahead and just make that one big thing. Have them kick ass, have them take names. Okay? Next, we have Rampage. What was fire on Rampage? I think I told you guys several times. Rampage is probably the most challenging show to just think of anything good happens. Like my mindset is immediately negative the minute I tune in to AEW Rampage. I think that AEW Rampage needs to use it as its development system, and I see way too many tenured professional wrestlers on AEW television. So yeah, let's get some more of these up and comers, these late men and women who've never been on the TV in a professional ring, and let's get them on Rampage. The show's only 1 hour, but that's not why I'm here. I'm talking about what's fire. What's fire was Mystico being on the show. And once again, I told you guys I don't get into the whole match. I'm not going to sit there and say he did a tope suicida and all that shit. I'm simply here to talk about the fact that a legend, Mystico, and I won't sit here and pretend like I know everything about Mexican and luchador wrestling because I don't. That's the truth. But I recognize the name. I recognize the mask. I know his work, and that's how you know that he's a legend. When people who are casual, who don't even closely follow their product, know who their top stars are, and that most certainly is Mystico. Shout out to Mystico and CMLL. Shout out to Rocky Romero, who did put on a great match with Mystico. Next, we have AEW Collision, our last fire for the last show of the week. And here's what I want to say. I had an epiphany while watching AEW Collision. Do you guys want to know what my epiphany was? My epiphany was that AEW Collision is AEW's best show. Better than Rampage. Easily better than Rampage. Easily better than AEW Dynamite. It's better than both. And I don't want to sit here, I always say I don't want to sit here and poo-poo on AEW or bash AEW or go overboard talking negatively about AEW. But what I will say is that AEW Collision is their best show. And while I don't want to just outright say it's because there's a ton of former WWE wrestlers on their roster who knows what the structure of a show looks like, who knows how to be on TV, who knows all those things. And no wonder Collision was just a very easy watch, y'all. It was a very easy watch. Like when you know a show is good when you have it on DVR and it gets to the commercial and you're still on a commercial. Like the show had me hooked. I forgot that I had DVR because everything in the show really, really popped off. And you'll see later in this video that I kind of struggled to even really find negatives about AEW Collision. It's clear by far and away AEW's best weekly show, and I mean that. So that was our last show of that. So the more I go on, the more I talk, the worse it gets. Let's talk about that mid. That means just okay, y'all. Just okay. We're going back over to Monday Night Raw. The more the deeper the rabbit hole goes, the more I get pissed off. Monday Night Raw. Mid. What's mid? The game of hot potato they're playing with the tag team titles. All right, goddamn it, look. First and foremost, I don't know why WWE is dragging their feet on this. First and foremost, why do we have dual championships held by the same professional wrestlers? You have a show Monday Night Raw. You have a show Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, I've seen the rumors about the belts, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about here and now. You have teams, whoever has the belt monopolizes the entire show. The entire tag team division, not the entire show, not the entire show. The entire tag team division. And what makes it worse is 9 out of 10 times, if you have tag team champions in WWE, you better believe that they were just two single wrestlers thrown together. Like, WWE really needs to focus on the professional wrestlers that are in tag teams that are actually tag teams. I'm not going to harp on this too much. I harp about it whether I'm on camera or off camera. I'm not going to harp on too much. But I will say I did not like that Cody and Jey Uso dropped the belts right back to the Judgment Day. Now, keep in mind, I don't want any of those teams to have the tag team titles. I want the tag team titles to go to an actual fucking tag team. That is what makes sense. That is how it should be. I don't know what they're doing, taking this lazy route, but it needs to end, or they need to give us a clue on exactly what the hell is going on with this tag team division. All right. NXT. What was mid about NXT? Let me take a minute to think about it. I said NXT was a good show. What did I see that only lasted for just a split second? But that second was enough to make me make this face. First and foremost, it's funny the process of how I came about this. I'm watching NXT go off and I see Lyra Valkyria standing in front of a screen. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to win the belt from Becky. And she tears up an old picture of her and Becky. And she's like, she's ready to go. And then she walks out the room. And then magically, the electricity, the majesty of Jade Cargill just magically appearing on the television screen doing this, tapping on her wrist, saying it's time for what, Jade? Seeing you on Raw, seeing you on SmackDown here in NXT. What is it time for? Now, I understand we're building up Jade Cargill. We're introducing Jade Cargill to WWE audiences, but Jade would even tell you that was damn corny. Her appearing on the screen, doing this. We're not even going to get into the technological aspect of her just appearing on this screen, tapping her damn wrist. We're not even going to get into that. We're just going to say it was corny, which WWE likes to do corny things. We're just going to leave it at that. We're just going to drop that right there and move on to the next show, which is AEW Dynamite. And what was made on AEW Dynamite? The air of something being off. I've been feeling like this for a while, but I figured that I'll use this opportunity and this part of the segment to get this off my chest. Let me ask you this. What does AEW stand for? It stands for All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling. Where's the elite? Where's the elite? This company, AEW, was built off of the back of the former members of the Bullet Club, known as the Elite. And I feel like they've either been downgraded or taken L's. I don't know if that has to do with the fight with CM Punk. I don't know if it has to do with the fight with CM Punk, or if it's just something they decided to do because they're EVPs and they don't want it to seem like they're showing favoritism. But I'm sorry, I haven't been 100% invested in AEW since the Elite was running roughshod. Kenny Omega was the champion, and they were just doing underhanded shit to make the ends justify the means. And now you got these guys, they're losing matches. They're barely winning matches they should dominate in. They're barely having TV screen time. They allegedly signed contracts with AEW, so you would think that would, entice Tony Khan to start giving these guys a push, but I guess that's just not enough, is it? So something was missing from AEW, Dynamite in particular, but AEW as a whole. I will say, and this happened later in the week on a different show. One of the pieces that I felt like AEW was missing did show up on Collision, and we're just gonna leave that for that. We're gonna put a little pin in that right there. Next, we're gonna go to SmackDown. And you know what's been kind of mid to me on SmackDown? Io Sky's title run. I mean, if you watch Io Sky, the former Io Shirai in NXT, she was fearless. She jumped off of shit. She didn't take shit from nobody. Now we got Io Sky up here needing to cheat, needing the assistance of Bayley to win some goddamn matches. Her title run's been weak. And I understand that she's beat a who's who of great former champions. I understand it. But her needing to cheat, her needing to help, it doesn't even fit her character. So her title run has been, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. Her title run's been stale, my personal opinion. You got the right to disagree. I think it's been stale, okay? I think it's been stale as months old bread. That's just where I'm at with it. Next, we had AEW Collision. Oh, man, let me take a seat back. Let me wipe my eyes because, ladies and gentlemen, you better believe I'm tired. Oh, man. But I'm finna find the energy to say this shit. So, Eddie Kingston beat. He didn't beat. I'm fucking delirious. Eddie Kingston did not beat. He got the shit beat out of him by whatever this collection of miscast toys with Jeff Jarrett and friends. They beat the shit out of Eddie Kingston. So then they cut backstage. Eddie Kingston's getting medical work. He's getting medical work done on him, right? And he starts cutting this fucking promo. He's calling Jay Lethal. The fuck is Jay Lethal's name? Jerry, Jim, John, Jalen. He was calling him something. Jerome. He was calling him something. He's just going in on him. I'll whoop your ass in front of your mama. She's going to be crying, and she ain't going to be crying because I'm whooping your ass. She going to be crying because she know you deserve that ass whooping. And that's great. That promo was great. It was so great that I thought about making it fire, but there's a reason I made it mid. Do you guys remember, for those of you who were around at the time, do you guys remember the segment? I think it's the segment in WWE where Vince's car exploded or he left or some shit. Paul London standing in the background. Just standing there looking like a fucking idiot. I tune in to Collision. I'll skip Rampage. I'm going straight to Collision. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm so anxious to do this shit. And for some reason, the trainer, the person doing work on Eddie Kingston, is just so fucking amused. She's so fucking amused by this promo, this serious ass promo. I don't think Eddie Kingston meant any of what he says a joke. Yeah, obviously it's scripted, but I don't think he intended to mean any of it to seem like it was a joke. She's just sitting there. He's cutting a promo. She's laughing and standing there. Are you gonna let me stitch you up? You better watch that bump there. We're in for a bumpy ride. Like, I really don't know what the fuck was going on. I hope. I don't ever want nobody to get fired. I never want nobody to get fired ever, unless they just a fucking rotten human being. She definitely deserves a talking to. She deserves a talking to, because if my professional wrestler, because so the little train, the segments backstage where they're getting worked on and looked at by the staff doctor or the referee in the back or the trainer, they're not there to bring attention to themselves. The same issue I have with the female referee in AEW, Aubrey Edwards. You're there. You're supposed to be as visible as a part of the fucking ring. You're supposed to blend in with the ring. The trainer in this segment with Eddie Kingston was supposed to blend in with the background of the scene. She's not supposed to be there. I'm looking at Eddie. I keep turning and looking at her because she's standing there smiling like a fucking moron while he's cutting this amazing ass promo. I ain't even going in that hard on her, but I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I'm sure of it. But goddamn, man, if she didn't draw attention to herself during what's supposed to be a scathing and effective promo against Jay Lethal, I don't know what else to tell you. And my bad, y'all. I skipped on Rampage because I fucking hate it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about what was mid for Rampage. What was mid for Rampage is the fucking JAS. I'm heated now. I'm heated. JAS is mid. Without Chris Jericho, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. I mean, you got Jay. First of all, okay, let's quickly break down JAS, right? You got 2.0. I think that's what they call now. Daddy Magic and whatever the other guy is that looks like Chuck Taylor. You got these guys. And then the other guy, ponytail, Mr. Potato Head looking guy, he's pissed off because Daniel Garcia keeps doing the like, so fucking what? So, and the whole storyline with them is built around him not wanting him to dance. That's what he doesn't want him to dance. It reminds me, I mean, no, it doesn't remind me because actually this makes sense. I was going to say it reminds me of that storyline with Matt and Jeff Hardy, where Matt started to get irritated because Jeff kept jumping off of shit and taking risk and causing them matches. That actually makes sense. Why the fuck are you jumping off of a scaffold when you already hit him with the twist of fate? You could have pinned him, but no, you got to jump off a fucking building and land on him, potentially missing, causing an entire team to match. But I digress, kinda. Anyway, it's stupid. The whole premise of building a storyline about one wrestler being pissed off at another because he keeps dancing, that's stupid. I haven't even really seen too many scenarios where his dancing really cost them anything. Like maybe last week, but nah. Anna Jay, I like Anna Jay, but I feel like she's barely been on TV. Jake Hager, he's been on TV in the background, but doesn't wrestle. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this group, but that makes sense because I rarely know what the fuck is going on in AEW. All right. So, man, if you guys think I went off on the mid portion of this, man, I didn't even get to trash yet, but we on it now. All right. We're on the tail end of this thing. No PD Stunt here this week. No Young Lion. So this time we ain't going to do no hour and 20-minute show. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to ask a question about Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn. If Cody Rhodes came to the ring and said he arranged a trade to be made that brings Jey Uso to Monday Night Raw in exchange for a wrestler to be named later to go to SmackDown, it ends up being Sami Zayn's best friend, Kevin Owens. But let me ask you this. Why the fuck is Sami blaming Jey? Didn't Cody just say he set that shit up? Why are you blaming Jey, Sami? Why are you going out of your way to blame somebody who you just chased for like months, kissing his ass, and just disregarding Cody Rhodes' role in the whole thing? That's who you should be mad at. Be mad at the motherfucker that made the trade. If this is the NBA, and let's say, I'll use a real life scenario. Let's say Damian Lillard got traded to the Bucks. He got traded to the Bucks for who the fuck came back in that trade? Jrue Holiday? Then Jrue Holiday went somewhere. I don't fucking know. We're just gonna keep it Jrue Holiday just for the sake of the discussion. No, Jrue Holiday went to the Celtics, right? Okay. Anyway, who gives a shit? We're gonna use Jrue Holiday, okay? That's like Anthony Simons being mad at Jrue Holiday for getting traded to the Blazers and not mad at the fucking GM. So, like, I don't get it. Why, Sami? WWE, make it make sense. NXT. What's trash on NXT? Their fucking tag team division. Do you know the lineage of the AEW tag team champions? DIY, FTR, the Street Profits. I feel like Street Profits never won the tag titles, to be honest. Who else is big? Pretty Deadly, I think, even had the tag titles. Just so many great tag teams held those NXT tag team titles. And now, honestly, it's fucking Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. Let me tell you something. I don't know if I'm in an audience of one. I have never bought into the character of Tony D'Angelo. I just don't. Because it's not realistic enough for me. It's just not. Maybe if he had a staple of 5 people I could buy into it, I don't know. But either way it go, my whole point is that he shouldn't be no damn tag team champion. They shouldn't be the tag team champions. Like, I'm trying to sit here and really genuinely think of what tag team in NXT am I like, they need it. Brooks and Jensen? Okay, maybe Brooks and Jensen. For sure, the Creed brothers, for sure. I don't even think the Creed brothers should still be in NXT. Those 2 new dudes, I mean, the big ass dudes that like they're hanging out with, they're managed by Reggie now. I mean, it's a couple good tag teams on there, but they never have the tag team title, so they need to get their tag team division fixed. Over at Dynamite, oh man, this ain't gonna make me go off as much as I did about that damn athletic trainer, but I'm gonna give you my opinion on this. Nick Wayne's mom. What do y'all think about Nick Wayne's mom? Leave it in the comment section below. Let me wrap my head around it real quick. Let me try to put it on stage for y'all. I mean, I'm sure if y'all watch it, y'all already know what's going on, but I'm trying to just make it make sense. So Nick Wayne, well, I think it's like 18 years old, right? His dad died. His dad used to put on shows, and Nick Wayne was a wrestler, right? Uh, he played a role in sorry, and Darby Allin's Come Up. But he died, so Nick, I'm trying real hard not to call him Nick Young. Nick Wayne joins AW because of Darby Allin. And then just like overnight, his fucking mom just started appearing. His mom started being a part of the storyline. And I'm trying to wrap my head around it because when Christian was feuding with, now come on, let me please stick with me. Please stick with me. When Christian was feuding with Darby Allin, which I think he still is, when he's feuding with Darby Allin, and Nick Wayne was on Darby Allin's side, Christian was saying shit like, oh yeah, I'm going to slide in your mom's DMs and this, that, and the third, implying that Christian is going to, you know. And now Nick Wayne has turned on Darby Allin, and now he's with Christian, the guy that just said he was going to do things to your mom. That don't make a ton of sense to me. It don't make a ton of sense. It just don't make a ton of sense. I mean, that's pretty much the main thing I can really even say about it. The shit just don't make sense. SmackDown. What's trash about SmackDown? This is real easy. After what feels like 2 or 3 months of Roman Reigns not being there, the man came back for one episode and fucking disappeared the next week. Goddamn Roman Reigns, man. That's why I've defended Roman staunchly about this title run. When Petey Stunt said it's stale, he needs to lose those belts, I said, nah, Petey, nah, man. It's important for Roman to be here. It's important for Roman to keep this going. It's important for Roman to have those belts. Petey Stunt's like, nah, man, it's time for him to lose that shit. It's time for him to lose that shit. You know, and if the man can't be there, there probably is time for him to lose them belts, man. I'm sorry. I didn't want to join the chorus of bulls and complain about him never being there, but the fact that the dude showed up for 1 week, made a cameo, talked some shit, and next week he gone already. Yeah, I don't care if he'll be back next week. It's just the principle. It's the principle. Take your ass to work, Roman. Next, we have Rampage. So I said a little bit about this earlier. I didn't necessarily have a pinpoint idea of what I thought was trash for Rampage. But what I will say, and I'll say it again, the show is just a complete shit show. It's a bunch of shit going on. It feels like substitute teacher time over at Rampage. Like, you know how the kid, like the teacher is out, the teacher out sick, a substitute come in, and the kids start talking to each other, ignoring the teacher. Yeah, it's time to party, da-da-da-da-da-da. Talking to the other kids, and the teacher like, excuse me, children, I need you to pay attention, children. And they just ignoring the shot of the teacher. That's what Rampage feel like. I feel like they just got a bunch of people doing a bunch of shit that don't make sense. And if you're going to do that, you might as well start just putting all the young wrestlers on there. I don't need to see Cesaro, Clastenali. I don't need to see him on Rampage, bro. I don't. I need to see people. I'm like, oh, who is that? They look cool. And then me invest in wanting to see that wrestler make a come up. Instead, you're just putting more veterans on the show. I've been said they should have turned Rampage into the AEW adaptation of NXT. Nobody was going to hate on that. If anything, the wrestlers that go on Rampage, if it was a developmental show, they will have a leg up because a lot of the wrestlers that come into NXT are from the performance center. So there's that. They need to make that a development show. Maybe then other shows won't have such shitty like people trying to cut promos and shit and do all backstage segments. Finally, oh man. Trash for Collision is the fucking anteater herself, Karen Jarrett. I'm sorry. She looks like a fucking anteater. Sue me. I don't care. I'm saying it. God damn it. It's not an attractive lady to me. And her character is just fucking annoying. Not annoying in a good way, like Vicky Guerrero, Stephanie McMahon, Dominic Mysterio. It's annoying in a bad way. It's annoying in the why the fuck are you here way. Like, she's not getting the type of like heat, like where it's like, okay, yeah, that's making Jeff Jarrett seems more of a hit. No, she got legitimate go the fuck away heat. Like, why are you on my television screen right now? You're annoying as fuck, bro. I do not need to see Karen Jarrett in my life ever fucking again. And I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. Cross my heart and I can die. I do not need to see Karen Jarrett in a fucking wrestling ring ever again. I could barely keep my fucking eyes open. And I could open them for this. Karen Jarrett, stay away. Stay far, far away from fucking wrestling. And this is like a little bonus trash. Bonus trash is Battle of the Belts. Partially one of the reasons why I'm so tired right now is because I had to watch Collision and Battle of the Belts. Was not prepared to watch 3 hours of wrestling tonight. I already have to do it Monday. Did not want to have to watch it for 3 hours tonight. So I'm getting this out to you a little bit late. And yeah, man, I'm going to see you guys at some point tomorrow for another episode of War Room. My name is MFGDs. Sorry if I was MFG sleep this entire video. It's all right. I was tired of shit. That's all I say. Good night, good morning, whatever you're going to call it. We out. I'm out.